First Sergeant Kemp here with Company D, 2nd United States Sharpshooters, and thanks again for joining us for another great quick tip video. Today we are talking about dummy rigging, and dummy rigging is a phrase used to describe the idea of tying one thing to another thing so it doesn't get lost. In all of my many years of reenacting in the hobby, and I'm sure many of you have either experienced this or witnessed it yourself, we have seen just about everything imaginable dropped on a battlefield or just kind of lost in camp. On just the battlefields alone, I've seen all sorts of cookware, from spoons and plates and tin cups, and occasionally people will lose a knife or part of their firearm on the battlefield, and they have to go looking for it, and that's a bummer. And even in Company D, we do a lot of authentic training events, and we spend a lot of time just sleeping under the stars with our bedrolls. And just from my own personal experience, I keep a lot of stuff in my pockets, and you curl up in the fart sack for a good night's rest, and you wake up in the morning, everything somehow finds its way out of your pockets, and you have to dig through your blankets and the grass to find everything that had fallen out during the night. And so I decided, well, let me give this dummy rigging a try, because there are a couple of things on my person that I never want to be without, especially as a first sergeant. And that first thing that I decided to dummy rig was my pocket knife, because it is such an essential item when you are living, working, and playing outside. And so I have my dummy rig, and then I have my Marlin Spike knife. Again, Company D's from Maine. We have a maritime culture, and having a Marlin Spike for rope work is really useful for me. But if you are not familiar with a Marlin Spike, really, once you become familiar with one, you find all sorts of beneficial uses for a giant pokey object. And this one just has a nice, good side, thick-spined blade on the back, and I just keep this with me. The other benefit that I like about choosing this style of knife is that it has a lanyard. So if I gift an NCO or reenactor a pocket knife to have on them, I always make sure it has a lanyard loop on it, so that way if they choose to dummy rig it, they have a place to attach their knife. Now, this is a common style during the Civil War, but it is all modern materials. This is some sort of fancy plastic, but it does look like the common sort of horn scales that you would see on knives during the time period. And also, this is in my pocket almost all of the time, so this isn't something I stress too much on authenticity, but I am always kind of looking for period correct knives, and if we do an authentic event, I make sure I swap this out for a authentic period style knife with period style materials. And I keep that in my left pocket because I don't use my knife that much. It does come in handy, but it is sort of a second tier item. And to dummy rig it, I just took some cotton twine and I made my string a little fancier. I was practicing on some rope work and some braiding styles that I got in some rope work books that I've collected over the years, and I just have a loop going to my braces, so that way I can take it off if I need to real easy. And the length, how long is it? It's long enough to not be dangerous. I won't trip on it. So if it does fall out, I'll feel it kind of banging on my knees, but it's also long enough that I could take it out of my pocket and still be able to do just about every function with it that I would need to use it for. So, cutting things open, carving something, cutting up my food, this is all ready to go and accessible with the length of string that I have. On the other side, on my right side, so I'm right-handed, so the item that I use more than anything during events is my pocket watch. And so I didn't do any fancy braiding or rope work on this one. Again, just cotton twine, and I have it tied to my pocket watch. This is the Townsend's pocket watch. I'm a big fan of this one. And I just have a bowline looped to my braces on this side as well. And you may be thinking, well, hey, First Sergeant, don't you normally keep a pocket watch in your coat pocket? And don't you normally have like a watch fob that goes with it? And the answer is, yeah, you do. But experience just kind of kept putting me in a situation where the pocket watch was better in my trouser pocket than my coat pocket. For years, I ran a pocket watch in a nice pocket watch fob. But, we're out doing fatigue details, or we're getting dirty, or maybe I'm changing coats because sharpshooters we had, depending on issues, we're either running a sack coat or we're running a frock coat. But I never changed my trousers. So this pair of trousers are what I always wear. So this was the constant. And I also have the constant of always needing my pocket watch, especially as a first sergeant. I need to know when to show up for things. And, so yeah, just from experience, I just figured having a pocket watch in my trouser pocket was so much more convenient. Even if I'm just around camp, I have my coat off after battle. I'm trying to cool down and relax. I don't have to go anywhere to get my watch. It's always on me. So I hope these tips have been informative and helpful in some way. Let us know down below if you have experienced dummy rigging equipment for yourself, what you would tie to yourself as the sort of essential everyday carry items that you don't want to lose on the field. Thanks as always for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and we'll see you on the next one.